Look who's here, former Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler. It's so great to have you on, Senator. Okay, so now we've got Chuck Schumer. He's again trying to say to senators, listen, let's get rid of the filibuster to get the Biden agenda through without any Republican votes. You know, you need 60 votes to get rid of a filibuster. So he's again putting the arm on senators to change the rules. What do you think?
Well, this is exactly what we warned about in our Senate race, was that they were going to fundamentally change America. They were going to eliminate the filibuster, which means they're going to take away the voice of the minority. Now, this is something that even Joe Biden, when he was a senator, said should not happen. And this is the ultimate in cancel culture, and I sincerely hope that the Senate won't succumb to the cancel culture, because it's really the premier venue in our country for debate, for negotiation, and it is truly the saucer that keeps the teacup from boiling over. So I hope that we can hold that back, because it means so much to America.
Yeah, we hear what you're saying. So, you know, we see them, you know, this thing about, you know, changing the rules. And then you see the misleading claims about the infrastructure spending, about, you know, the taxes in it. We found a bunch of misleading claims. And now we've got former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie today saying to Republicans, you know what, go after President Biden for, quote, lying. He's saying play hardball. What do you think of that?
Well, I totally agree, Liz. Look what's going on here. They've entitled this infrastructure bill a Jobs Act. It's a job-crushing act. It would not only crush jobs, it would crush the economic recovery that's been underway for months. Secretary Buttigieg had to lie about the jobs that it created. We have to call him out on that. It's not just the president that's lying. But look, Americans deserve to know the facts about this infrastructure bill. It would not only destroy jobs, it would destroy our energy independence. So it's not just economic security, but it's national security. And we need to be talking about what they're trying to do. They're trying to transform our economy into a socialist platform, and that's what we talked about during our campaign. And people said, no, that's not what's happening. But you look at it, and it's things like raising taxes, more government control, it's central planning. They want to have Medicaid expansion, $400 billion for that, but only if you're going to become unionized. And so they're really trying to use this radical spending bill to transform America. And President Biden's been out lying about Georgia's election integrity bill. That cost Georgians a $100 million opportunity to host the All-Star game for the MLB based on his lies. And that's not just his lies. It's Stacey Abrams and Senator Raphael Warnock who used those lies to do fundraising. So it's absolutely time to call out the left for what they're doing.
Yeah, we hear what you're saying. You know, Republicans have been saying the Democrats are trying to kitchen sink everything into this one infrastructure bill and ram it through with one vote, with no GOP votes behind it on a, simple majority. But, Republicans are saying, this is interesting, cut Biden's plan by 3/4 down to what, $600 billion, $700 billion. That's almost what the actual bill would spend on traditional infrastructure like bridges, roads, and airports, So they're saying to stick to that.
Well, that's right, and that's common sense. Americans want infrastructure that works for them. Good roads, bridges, airports, ports. Certainly that means so much to our economy here in Georgia. And as Americans get back to work, they want to know that that infrastructure is there. Rural broadband, things that make our economy run. The private sector is creating jobs at a rapid pace. We just had our lowest unemployment claims report since the pandemic began a year ago. We need to continue on that. The government will crowd out with this needless spending that will harm jobs and the economic recovery. And so we have to make sure that we protect the private sector and let those jobs come back and provide that infrastructure. And we know that EPW in the Senate last year passed across party line, bipartisan, unanimously, an infrastructure bill that would provide for that very platform for Americans, for our recovery here.
Senator, union workers told NPR they don't believe the green energy jobs in this infrastructure plan. They don't want to start over in a new trade. They risk losing their pensions and their benefits. The salaries for these green jobs, one study said on average, is $12,000 annually less. That's a lot of money for these workers. It takes less factory workers to make things like electric engines versus traditional engines that run on petroleum. So the union workers see what's coming. But the Democrats are saying, you know what, you can go code. or, they're making false claims about how unions will be able to create green energy jobs. Let's take a listen to this, Senator. I'd like you to get your reaction on Democrats here. Watch this.
Anybody who can throw coal into a furnace can learn how to program, for God's sake.
What President Biden wants to do is make sure those folks have better choices, that they have alternatives, that they can be the people who go to work to make the solar panels.
That's going to require skilled work, union work, and I think those kinds of jobs are among the millions of jobs that are being created.
A lot of misleading stuff here. By the way, China dominates solar panels. What's your reaction, Senator? It's good to have you on again. What do you think?
Yeah, this bill will ship jobs to China, but it's also very cautionary that it includes $40 billion for displaced workers. That tells you all you need to know about the number of workers it intends to displace in our country, and this bill is absolutely wrong for America.
Wow, so it has taxpayer payouts for people who lose their jobs in the shift to green energy. That's an important point you just made. Kelly Loeffler, thanks for joining us. It's good to have you on. Come back soon.
Thank you, Liz.